How y'all doing? I'm the Queen Chief of Three Kings. I hope all is well. I'm also the thinker who thinks the thoughts that create the things. Today is Tuesday, September the 5th, 2023. And the last time I checked, it was currently 3,600 hours. I started reading this new book called Resisting Happiness. Resisting Happiness by Matthew Kelly. I read chapter 1 today. I just wanted to share some of my thoughts with you on it. Most people are usually about as happy as they make up their minds to be. Abraham Lincoln. Most people are usually about as happy as they make up their minds to be. Abraham Lincoln. I've read the first chapter so far. I'm happy with that. It's a true story about why we sabotage ourselves, feel overwhelmed, set aside our dreams, and lack the courage to simply be ourselves, and how to start choosing happiness again. It's a New York Times best-selling author. I'll read the sleeve to you. Every single moment is a chance to turn it all around. Are you happy? Are you happy? I'm in the process of achieving happiness, but I really want joy, pure joy, unspeakable joy. Because most of the time when you're happy, it depends on what's happening. It may be the wrong question. Most of us think we are relatively happy, while at the same time knowing that we could be happier, maybe even a lot happier. I got something to say about that. The first thing you can do to become happy is surround yourself around happy people. If you sorry about the lines in my forehead, I just took my do-rag off. But if you constantly surrounding yourself by complainers, and then I think that will interfere or keep you from being as happy as you want to be. Ordinary people and the finest philosophers have been exploring the question of happiness for thousands of years, and theories abound. But this is not a book of theory. Resisting Happiness is a deeply personal, disalarming, transparent look at why we sabotage our own happiness and what to do about it. I know I'm guilty of that. Sabotaging my own happiness. You know why most people sabotage their own happiness? Because they're trying to make other people happy. Or let's keep it on me. Or I try to make other people happy. I do something that I know somebody else may want me to do so that they will be happy. And I sabotage my own happiness by making someone else happy. And most of the time, that same person wouldn't do the same for you. So think about that. Are you overwhelmed? Most people, especially in America, are overwhelmed. Do you procrastinate? Do you sometimes feel like Do you sometimes feel like you are your own worst enemy? Are you ignoring your dreams? I'm doing one of my dreams right now, which is to be a content creator. I've ignored it for years. But something happened to me that gave me the opportunity to do it. So now that's what I'm doing. Have you lost the courage to truly be yourself? It took a lot of courage for me to come out and be myself as a black lesbian female, especially growing up in the Pentecostal Apostolic Church. Which my mom is still a pastor of today, but it's not as legalistic as it was when we were growing up. Plus, I like the Pentecostal experience. If you ever want to go and have some church, I recommend you going to Star Ministries at 2216 Hamilton Road in Columbus, Georgia, if you want to have some church. Do you find yourself avoiding the real issues in your life and focusing on the superficial? We all experience these feelings and doubts from time to time, but do you know what to do when you experience them? In this fascinating book, Matthew Kelly, with his signature combination of profound and the practical, helps us to understand why we feel these things and how to rise above them. Breaking through resistance, Kelly tells us, is essential to becoming the best version of ourselves and living with passion and purpose. I want to live with passion and purpose. I want to live for my passion and for my purpose, not for your passion or for your purpose. What is resistance? It's that sluggish feeling of not wanting to do something that you know is good for you. It's the inclination to do something that you unabashedly know is not good for you. It's the desire and tendency to delay something you should be doing right now. It is resistance that stands between you and happiness. In these pages, you will learn not only what it is, but how to recognize and conquer it in your own life. I want to tell you a little bit about the author, Mr. Matthew Kelly. This is a picture of him, Mr. Matthew Kelly. Matthew Kelly was born in Sydney, Australia. He has dedicated his life to helping people and organizations become the best version of themselves. I'm sorry, that's one of my producers' child. He is a New York Times best-selling author, an internationally acclaimed speaker, and a business consultant to some of the world's largest and most admired companies. He is the author of more than 20 books, which have sold more than 20 million copies and have been published in more than 25 languages. I guess all that means is Mr. Kelly makes a lot of money making books. So I read my first, I always use a bill as my bookmark. It's just been a habit. Normally when I get finished reading the book, whatever bill I have, I buy me something with it as a reward for finishing my book. Hey, Chai. Sometimes you have to tell your dog to shut up, be quiet. Normally it's $1 or $5 or $10 or $20 or $100, whatever bill I can find. My daddy gave me some money yesterday, so I put most of it in the offering, but I kept $1 for my bookmark. So when I finish reading this book, I would take this $1 probably to the dollar store. It won't be Dollar General, because in Jacksonville they're killing black folks for being black at the Dollar General there. But the first chapter is called Resistance. Resistance. I read the first chapter, got a lot out of it. I think we need to take a moment of silence for Chai. I have no idea what she's barking at. I have no idea. What in the world is the problem? Chai! I should have brought the doggy treats out here. Okay, and brought the treats in there. Okay, I underlined some things that I read about that I want to talk about. So, a lot of us lose our first battle with resistance first thing in the morning. We can't resist our alarm clock. The first thing we do is hit the snooze button on our alarm clock. Now, right now, I wish Chai had a snooze button. Chai! She needs a snooze button. And unfortunately, dogs don't come with... Now, they have shock collars you can put on dogs, but these are not my dogs, by the way. I got Chai, then Fendi, and Bruno. I'm babysitting or dog sitting. But when you hit the snooze button on your alarm clock, you lost your first battle with resistance in that morning. And that's going to interfere with your happiness. Because the more you hit the snooze button, more than likely you're not going to wake up in a happy mood. You're going to wake up frustrated. You're going to get out of the bed frustrated and aggravated because now you're running late and you're going to be in a hurry to do whatever it is that you're supposed to do if you would have got on up when the alarm went off in the first place. Now, I have a friend of mine who told me she sets 3 alarms for her to get up in the morning. I guess that's what she has to do. I would just set 1 alarm and get up. I'm normally a morning person anyway. Y'all pray for the dark circles under my eyes. I have allergies and they come out sometimes, or all the time. But that's a good way to resist your happiness. Is simply by hitting the snooze button. You don't realize it, but I think by reading this book, it'll help me and others realize it. Another thing that can help you resist happiness is not doing those things that you know that are good for you to do. It's good for me to eat a healthy, balanced meal every day. This morning I had a banana and an orange for breakfast. I just had a salad about 2 hours ago. My sister went to Zaxby's, so it's a Zaxby salad. For dinner, I have these impossible meatballs. So I'll probably make that unless my sister decides to make something. But resisting those things that are good for you can interfere with your happiness. Okay? I'm going on a walk later on tonight. I would probably take Fendi. I'm definitely not taking Chai. Chai barks at absolutely everything and everybody that she sees moving. She's a chihuahua. I don't know what it is, but that Chai, for some reason, can't stop barking. Fendi is a pit bull, but she's very friendly. I personally think she needs to be more aggressive. But walking Fendi is smooth, cool, and easy. She rarely barks. She obeys commands, do whatever I say, do for the most part. Now, how I get off on these dogs, I don't know. But you can become your own worst enemy by resisting not doing the thing that is good for you. Eating a healthy, balanced, well-balanced meal, going for walks, exercising, meditating, doing what's best for your higher good, reaching out to your higher power. My higher power is my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, God. We communicate every day. So that's what I got so far. Now, the hardest war to win is one you don't even realize you are fighting. Most of us don't even realize we are fighting ourselves by resisting happiness. And the hardest enemy to defeat is the one you don't even know exists. Every day you are at war with resistance. We are at war with resistance. Try your best today not to resist anything that is good for you. Don't say, hey, I'll start my diet tomorrow, or I'll start my healthy regimen tomorrow, or I'll start reading tomorrow. Things that are good for you, go ahead and do those things and don't resist those things. You have to break through resistance in order to accomplish even the smallest task. You might be resisting washing those dishes in the sink, but as long as you're resisting that, you're not bringing happiness to yourself, because you're sitting there and the only thing you can think about while you're watching TV is, I need to wash those dishes. Go ahead and get rid of resistance. Wash those dishes so you can sit down and enjoy whatever it is that you want to watch on TV. Most of us catch ourselves in a battle with resistance every single day. Guess what? Matthew Kelly, he said that he was telling a story in chapter 1. He's written over 20 books, or something like that. I just read at the end of this sleeves, which I guess means he has a lot of money. God bless him. He deserves it. Especially if you've written 20 books. I think that's a huge accomplishment. But he was saying that a lot of authors or wannabe authors or wannabe book writers reach out to him all the time and say, hey, I want to write a book. And so he says, okay, he gives them opportunity. Okay, write your book, write your manuscript, and give it to me when it's ready for editing. He said 95% of those people who have told him they want to write a book don't ever reach back out to him again. They're resisting being happy by resisting and allowing everything to take place or come into their life that resists them from writing their book. The best thing to do when you want to do something is to write a schedule. Just say, hey, I'm going to take an hour or 2 hours today to write a little bit in my book that I want to write. Okay? That will make you happy. Also, what I like that he wrote in his own book is that he wrote a great book delivers on this promise. Now, the title of this book is Resisting Happiness. So he's telling me, Mr. Matthew Kelly is telling me that a great book delivers on this promise. So I'm going to give him a chance to see if his promise is kept. Because if he's going to teach me how to resist happiness and be more happy, then I'm good to go with it. But I've only got to the first chapter, but so far I'm liking what I'm reading. Don't allow resistance to stand between you and your happiness. I'm not going to allow resistance to stand between me and my happiness. A good way that he recommends is to write down every time you encounter resistance in your life for a week straight. Every time you hit that snooze button, every time you're doing something for somebody else to make them happy instead of yourself happy, Every time you're doing something that you don't want to do, instead of doing something that you should be doing, is resistance. And if you write down in your journal, every time that something comes up that hinders you from doing something that will make your life better, you're resisting happiness. Okay? Resisting Happiness by Matthew Kelly. This is the book that I'm reading. I've read chapter 1. I'm looking forward to reading chapter 2, hopefully tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday Bible study. I normally concentrate on the Word all day, getting prepared for Bible study, which starts at 6. But if I get a chance, I'll come out and do a video about chapter 2. But thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this review on chapter 1, Resistance. If so, please like, please share, please subscribe. Please subscribe. Thank you so much for subscribing. Please turn on that notification bell. Thank you so much. I want you to know that I love you, I appreciate you, and I thank God for you. All is well. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. May my whole life prove that God is good. Oh, now they want to be quiet. Wow.